Today's episode of Old Ass Movie Reviews is another Patrick Swayze. It is one of my favorite Patrick Swayze movies next to Steel Dawn, which is a whole nother movie, but this one is Dirty Dancing. This is probably what really put him on the map as far as I'm concerned about being a superstar. Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
Take it away, Scott.
Hey, yeah. Hey, thanks for joining us for episode 18 of Old Ass Movie Reviews. Yeah, Dirty Dancing. I freaking love this movie. I've seen it multiple times, but when I watched it last night, this was the first time I watched it as a reviewer, with a critical eye.
Right.
And I got more out of this movie than I had in the past. I saw more going on that I just overlooked. I mean, when I first saw it, you had all the dancing, the music, Patrick Swayze, Jennifer Grey. It was just a cool flick. It was funny. It had heart. But to see the social commentary that's hidden in there, and it's not swung with a hammer. It's there.
Right.
It's real. It's subtle. It's holy crap.
That's how a movie should be made if you're telling a story.
Thank you. Thank you. That was my takeaway. And they talk about that in that documentary, The Movies That Made Us. Is that?
Yeah. On Netflix. Yeah.
On Netflix. Yes. They talk about how that you had the different class structures tied to the different dances and stuff. And it was,
I was going to say how they broke up the dancing in
yes.
that for the class structure was, I never thought about it, but when they pointed out, you're like, oh my God, yeah, I see what you did there. And it was, like you said, very subtle, very, very adept at doing it. It
was in there. And seeing this movie, one of the first things I thought last night is like, man, I got to look this up. I got to find this writer. I got to find out what her story is. Was this her life or whatever? And no, it's not. But there's a lot of similarities.
But kind of.
Yeah, I mean, her dad was a doctor. They called her baby. She took dance lessons from the professionals in the Catskills. So there was that, and how this movie came about to finally get made is a story in itself.
I know. Right? That is amazing to me that even happened.
Here's what I find hard to believe. You've got a movie that is so powerful, so timeless, and so damn good that was rejected by every frickin' studio. And who picks it up? Vestron. None other than those who released Chopping Mall, which we have reviewed.
I thought that was brilliant. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God.
The Chopping Mall poster, yes. And I was like, wow. So that's who picks it up. And it was, and finding out that Jennifer Grey basically learned to dance on the movie.
Right.
And the chemistry that she had with Patrick Swayze in there and everything was all real.
Right. They made up.
And now I need to find out what their beef was from Red Dawn.
I have a theory. I have one of two theories. One theory is a very nice theory. Patrick Swayze was a little bit older than everybody else on Red Dawn. Well, probably quite a bit older at the time. And it was just an age difference thing, and they clashed.
Yeah.
My second theory is they dated on Red Dawn. And they had a little dating thing going on. And then they kind of broke up, and it wasn't a great breakup.
Yeah.
So it's one of those two things. It's got to be.
Both.
I mean, or both. That he was, they both were like, But the good thing is, in this movie, and in the Netflix, the Movies That Made Us, they mentioned that. They mentioned the conflict between the two of them, that Jennifer Grey did not want Patrick Swayze in the movie. She's like, picking anybody but this guy. And Patrick had to go privately and talk to her and,
smooth it out.
Off to by themselves. And when they came out, they were both teary-eyed, but they were friends again, and they made up. They made their beef. From what I understand, I could be wrong, but from what I understand, from that point on, they were actually friends again. They
right.
were I don't know how close, but they were friends. And for as you watch the movie progress, like you said, Jennifer Grey is not a great dancer. She's not a good mover, but Patrick Swayze was.
Mm-hmm.
So some of the stuff that you're watching is the brilliant idea of this director who just let the camera run and get moments that worked perfectly.
They were so real.
Teaching her how to dance.
Yeah.
What a brilliant freaking move on this guy's part, who had never done a major motion picture before.
No, a 26-minute documentary.
Yeah, on kids dancing.
Yeah.
And this guy got the part to do this movie. And did they win an award for this movie or no? I don't remember.
For this movie?
I would have to look that up.
I don't
know. I don't know. But this guy, I mean, he was the right director for this movie for sure.
Yeah.
You know, he was the glue. I think he was just such a nice fella that everybody wanted to please him. You know what I mean? Like, he just looks like, when you watch the documentary, you're seeing him talk and do stuff, and everybody's just like wanting to help this guy make a movie. It's like it's all the egos were put to the side, and they're like, we like this guy. Let's go do whatever he tells us to do.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting how the studio heads, of course, had their brilliant ideas on who to cast in the movie.
Right.
And how I can't imagine, again, here is another movie that no one else works. Right. It doesn't work without Patrick Swayze.
There was one person that I thought might have been able to pull it off, and you're going to laugh at me and go, are you freaking insane? I think Pia Zadora could have pulled this off. Only because I think they could have frumped her down very easily. And I think she's as bad of an actress as she always got the chops for. She was actually a pretty good actress. She could act when given the opportunity. And I now, would it have turned out to be what it is, the cult classic that it is? I don't know. But the guy, tell him who the guy was that they wanted to pick for Patrick Swayze. It was down between Patrick Swayze,
Billy Zane.
And they showed Billy Zane. At first I was like, Billy, yeah, I could kind of see Billy Zane doing this.
Until they showed him dancing.
Until they showed Billy Zane dancing. And I was like, no. Oh, God, why on earth would the Hollywood guys want to pick Billy Zane to dance?
No.
Unless he was going to go under all kinds of hardcore dancing instruction. But he danced like I dance. Poorly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very obvious. One of the things that got me is they kept talking about this being a low-budget movie.
Right.
This is in the 80s. $4.5 million. I'm sorry, that's not low budget. You can make anything happen with millions.
For $4.5 million in the 80s, though, that was a low-budget movie. And what's funny is they showed the high-budget movies were only like, I think the biggest budget they showed in the one thing was like $78 million.
Yeah.
And that's considered low budget now, or medium budget.
I know.
Can you imagine that? I can't even imagine. Here's $78 million. Go make your dream movie. Did you just give me $78 million?
We're going to do it for $50,000.
That's right. $50,000. You're good. Yeah, I'm keeping the rest. Patrick Swayze's character. What a great character.
Oh, absolutely.
New York accent. Right? I mean,
right.
That was definitely a Texas boy doing a New York accent.
Yeah.
But he pulled it off, man. And he's just the dance instructor that everybody ever wanted. The dancing in this movie is absolutely fantastic. The soundtrack is freaking phenomenal.
Yes.
Let's start from the beginning. Baby is the opening shot is brilliant. It's the family car driving down the highway, and baby does a very small narration. You find out it's 1963. Everybody's nicknamed her Baby, and she's going to the Catskills for her vacation, her family vacation that they do every year, and she's not really excited about it. And then she's going to go join the Peace Corps, if I remember correctly, afterwards. This is how, if you're going to do a narration in a movie, it should be short, sweet, boom, done. I don't think they do it again. I don't think they do
No,
any
they
kind of
don't.
narration for the rest of the movie. It's just to let you know what's going on, just enough. And you kind of probably figured it out without that, but it was nice to hear her voice
Mm-hmm.
talking. They get there, they're being shown around the Catskills and the place that they're at. All the people are there. They're just pulling. Some are just pulling in. Some are leaving. It's like a very, very fluid moment. I don't know how you would direct that. I really don't know how you would set that up as a director. But they have the guy walking with the blowhorn,
Yeah.
telling everybody what's going on and what the next party is and where to go to play shuffleboard and it's just so. I'm gonna say it. I am not a guy who comes out and says this kind of thing, but it was very white bread,
Oh my
very
God, yes.
homogenized.
That is the
And it is
whitest
the world
vacation
of
ever.
Do what?
That is the whitest vacation ever.
Oh my God. I too would have left and gone to the employees only section, where it says do not pass here, employees only. I would have gone and hung out with the employees because they were having a hell of a lot more fun than anybody was having in the cabin.
That was
Yeah.
that was painfully white.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like and most of these people were Jewish from the
Mhm.
60s because in the Catskills that's what was mostly up there. I imagine there were some wasps floating around up there too
Yeah.
and hanging out, but it was very, very family oriented, very, very clean, white bread. We're not going to do anything too spooky to
Yeah.
scare away our guests, but it was very very telling, and that's when you talk about the class levels. That's the upper class. They showed them in their dance. I think one of the first dance they show is not the foxtrot. It's the bunny hop or something, right?
Yeah, yeah, they
They're
were
all
all
in a
in a
circle and
circle and it's like,
they're
oh
doing the
my
bunny hop.
God.
And then they open a little bit later on with the crew, the dance crew dancing.
Mhm.
And they are grinding. They are doing their dirty dancing best. And it's like these are two completely different worlds, man.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I really like about this movie. And there's bits that tell you there's more story there that we're never
Right.
going to know. Johnny Castle, Patrick Swayze, um, he he's struggling with a lot. He comes
Oh
from
yeah, yeah.
it. They don't come out and say it, but it's obviously comes from a lower class working family. He's just seen as a hot guy, and he is taken advantage of for that. But there's a scene in there that I found really telling where he just wanted to have somebody like baby's dad put their arm around him like a father should, he said.
Hmm.
And it's like, damn, we've got a backstory here. There's
Right,
something there. And he's
right.
just wanting to do better. And his whole life people have looked at him as just this punk or whatever, or
Yeah, this good-looking guy.
yeah, who is nothing and treated him that way and like he's beneath them. And
Hmm.
that's neat how his movie's full of stereotypes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It is
But they
so
all work. None
exactly.
of them are over the top
No.
stereotypes. I don't think.
No, it's full of stereotypes that just show how it actually is and how people are
Hmm.
actually thinking and how, the minute something came up stolen, who do they blame?
Right.
Johnny, not the old Jewish couple who have been robbing places all over the place. That
All
is
the way
so
from
freaking funny.
Miami, all the way up the East Coast, these people have taken hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But
And
nobody
could
questioned them.
do it
Nobody questioned
together.
them. Yeah.
Sorry, go.
No, that's fine. Nobody questioned them because they were just so sweet and so nice
Yeah,
and
yeah.
didn't fit that look. And like the
Right.
one, well, the owner Kellerman had said he'd hired all his staff from Yale and Harvard and all these places.
Yeah, right.
Because these were assholes. These were low life pieces of shit.
Most of those guys were a bunch of douchebags.
Yes.
Especially, I think it was his nephew.
Yeah.
The nephew was a waiter. He's trying to show was a waiter, but he was also trying to run the show and trying to talk down to Johnny.
That was
and
his
I'm sitting
son.
there thinking,
Yeah.
this guy's a little turd. That's not. He's just trying to impress the girl,
Yeah.
baby, by insulting Johnny, not knowing that she's in love with Johnny and she could give two craps about him. Like you
No,
could catch
I
on
felt
fire
so
and I
bad.
wouldn't pee on you.
I felt so bad for Baby when she had to go off with this douche.
Oh my God. But boy, she gives him that look. She has that you're a piece of shit look, and she doesn't mind throwing that out
Yeah.
there. That resting bitch face look. Boy, Jennifer Grey can throw that out there with like nobody's business. And the guy was too stupid to get it.
Oh yeah.
Like he was just too
He would've
dumb
been.
to understand she wanted nothing to do with him.
No, because he had hotels. He, everybody
Yeah.
would want him.
Yeah, and how could you not want me?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, he
you're an
basically
idiot.
told her that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's like, wow, you're a jerk. And
Yeah.
you don't see that you talking about all your money that you didn't earn. Your parents or your grandparents earned it. You're just inheriting it. That's you
Right.
shouldn't talk about stuff you didn't earn.
and Baby's father thought he was fine, and the other guys
Oh
were
yeah, I
fine.
love that guy.
Yeah, because he had in his head that's those are the good people. Those are
Right.
the right
Right.
side of
And
the tracks.
He figures it out at the very end though, which is good.
It took him a while, but
Yeah.
he did come around full circle.
Mhm.
And that was touching that he finally did. You have Johnny and Penny. There's a whole nother story there too.
Yeah.
Holy
there
crap! There's a prequel out there for
is. Yeah,
this.
right?
Right.
Right. God, I hope they never make it because they'd ruin it.
Yeah, they can't, but somebody could
But I
write
know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's there's a whole prequel there, and it's like, wow, I want to know what, because they were such good friends.
Mhm.
But everybody just assumed they were a
Yeah.
couple and instantly assumed Johnny knocked her up, and it was,
Right.
but no, it was Mr. Harvard or Mr. Yale who did it.
Yeah, that guy was such a jerk. And
Yeah.
I just love whenever Johnny finally kicks his ass.
Oh yeah.
Just beats the hell out of that guy. And I'm sitting there thinking, this guy, there's no way this guy's going to beat up a dancer.
No.
Like a professional athlete. This guy is not going to kick his rear end. There's no way.
Not at all.
And he didn't, which was
No.
good.
No.
Yeah, the Penny girl, she was kind of a tragic character. I
Yeah.
felt bad for her. But that whole story, at one point they said they in the special they have your kitty's back there.
I see her.
They have a you're gonna have to edit that part out.
No.
At one point in the special, the movies that made us, they show or they talk about Vestron, I guess the producers in Vestron were like, well, you got to take that.
Oh, it was
abortion
Clearasil.
out.
It was
Clearasil, because they were going to
sponsor.
lose their sponsorship, and they're like, you got to take that part out. And the lady, God bless her, was like, the entire movie falls apart without that. Because there's no point in anything happening in that movie if that doesn't happen. There's no point for Jennifer Grey's character to learn how to dance. No point for any of it, for anything to happen.
That whole movie, believe it or not, hinges on Penny's abortion.
Yeah, and you don't really think about it until you hear it out loud when somebody says you have to take that part out, and then you're like, well, no, you literally can't take that part of the story out, because everything just falls then. And then it becomes a house of cards where everything just falls down, falls apart. There's no reason for her character, Baby, to go be with Johnny, although you can tell she wants to be.
Yeah.
The whole time, but there's no reason for her to get stuck with him or him get stuck with her, as it were, initially.
Right.
Oh. The cat's tail just hit Scott in the face.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Move my mic, everything else. Okay.
It's so funny when he comes to visit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whenever they start to dance, again, the director was just a freaking genius in this regard to literally film Jennifer Grey learning how to dance.
Yes.
Basically, is
Yes.
what that was.
See, when I was watching that, she was on those steps and that little walkway, and I was watching that last
That is
night.
the
It's like,
most adorable scene in the entire movie when
yeah.
she's trying to learn how to dance and then she's going up the dance and coming down the stairs. I'm just like, she's so adorable. How could
And
you not love her?
I'm watching that, and it's like, I wonder if they just rolled camera on her trying to learn the steps. Guess what? They did.
Yeah, I think they did the whole time.
They did.
I mean, I know they specifically talk about one scene, but I
Mhm.
have a feeling that guy just let stuff roll. Like,
Yeah.
okay, oh, look, she's over there trying to learn how to dance. Somebody grab a camera and film her,
Yeah.
you know?
It's perfect.
It
That
works.
movie is so good.
The one scene when she's on
Yeah.
the bridge learning to dance, and she's trying to do, she's got her arm out, she's got her hand, she's trying to do her box, and then she leans back on the post and she looks around to see if anybody's looking, and then strikes a sexy pose, and then
Yeah.
comes back up and looks around and walks away. It's like
Exactly.
It's just perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good. I enjoy the hell out of it. And this is, this movie is a perfect example of how to give social commentary without a hammer.
Right. Right. And the sister learned her lesson too. The sister, who was a very
Yeah.
pretty girl, but zero talent when it comes to singing.
Oh my God. I thought that was a Lucille Ball moment.
Yeah, it was brilliant. She's after doing some kind of trying to do a hula. She can't move. She can't sing. But she's pretty funny. And I liked how the sisters were kind of separate at one point. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
the one saying how great the one rich guy is from Harvard, and Baby's trying to warn her, no, this guy's an idiot, and she
Yeah.
thinks she's just jealous
Right.
because she's got a guy and Baby doesn't.
And Daddy doesn't
And then
listen to
she
you
walks
anymore.
in. Yeah, she walks in on the guy with the other woman that's basically tramping around anybody who will be with her in the park.
Yeah.
And she realizes, oh crap, Baby was right. And now she's got to go back to her little sister and tell her she was right.
Yeah.
So that was a good learning point, and a good point to bring them together. Like, okay, we're both growing up, and we gotta stick together here. And I thought that was a good scene.
Right. And there was so much of that. There was Baby betraying her father by lying, and
yeah, like she'd never lied to her dad before.
No, and
because the way she played that, the character, the actress plays that against the dad.
Yeah. Well done. Just well done. And it's nice to see all that growth and those story arcs come right back around. I think it's brilliantly written, brilliantly acted, danced, music, directed, edited. It's a great flick. I forgot how good it was.
Yeah, and everybody, like, my favorite line still to date, and it's the line that nobody liked, was
that was interesting.
Nobody sits Baby in a corner. That was funny to find that out. Like, the one lady's like, well, that was just a throwaway line. I didn't care about it one way or the other.
Yeah.
And Patrick Swayze was like, how do I say that line?
It's so stupid.
It's a stupid line to say, but it's the most iconic line from that movie. And I don't care what anybody says. Technically, Jennifer Grey's character is sitting in the corner.
A corner,
there's
yes.
a little pillar. There's the wall. She's in a corner.
She was in a corner.
Don't want to argue about it. She's in a corner.
Yeah, I was, everybody's heard that line. Nobody puts Baby in a corner. But when you're watching it, and it's like, why are you saying that?
Yeah, that just kind of comes out of nowhere, because it really isn't. It's not like he watched the father pull her away and sit her in the corner.
No.
She was already sitting there. Now, had the father been like, no, baby, you're going to sit your ass down and just relax, and then he walked over and did that, I would have been like, oh, that to me would have made more sense. But it's still like, it's such an iconic line. Nobody puts Baby in the corner.
Yeah.
And then the dance. The dance off, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That takes place after that. And him with his bad leg.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Jumping off that stage multiple times over and over.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was watching that, and I rewound that knowing that they had shot that so many times. I rewound that, and I'm like, they should have had that on the third take at most. Because the way they edited that damn cut anyway is they cut it as soon as he hits the ground. I'm like, you couldn't have figured out how to get that.
Yeah,
You couldn't have
sometimes
cut
they're
that
too
like the
close
first.
to it, you know.
I'm just like, no, you guys could have got that
Yeah.
in your first 2 or 3 takes. But that's me. I think they just hurt Patrick Swayze just to hurt Patrick Swayze. And nobody hurts Patrick Swayze in the corner. You can't hurt Patrick Swayze's hair.
Right.
His hair is always perfect the whole damn time.
Yeah.
God, to have hair like that.
It would be nice. Would be nice.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, to hear that they had trouble securing the music rights, and
oh yeah, to the last minute
practicing to whatever tunes they could play and stuff. Wow.
See, to me, I would have taken the music that I wanted,
yes,
and had them all learn to that music. And then if worse comes to worse, you just find music that's close to it and put it in the movie.
I was thinking that as well.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Common sense thinker, I guess. I don't know. But I like how the one guy was trying and couldn't do it. And I don't think he must have been trying hard, because the other guy got in 2 weeks. He had all the money, or I had all the songs at a decent price.
Yep.
So that's good.
Definitely.
And he stepped on the toes of a guy that I didn't like anyway, so that was all good.
I thought it was funny at the end, when everybody's dancing and they focus on these older ladies in fur, and they just like rip off their fur and start dancing. It's like, it was great though, but that was pretty telling of everybody there letting their guard down, letting just letting loose and just being alive, instead of these little tight white bread people that they were. And it was symbolic. Like, there's so much in this movie that I don't know if it was it wasn't intentional, but it just happened.
It's like the old saying, dance like nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Like whenever you have on the music and you're doing your stupid little dances around the house, that's just letting yourself go, you know? And that was a good scene that everybody was doing. A lot of people were doing it. The mom was doing it.
Yes, everybody.
The dad was not exactly doing it, but he was trying. He's trying to let his hair down, but he didn't have any hair. Poor Jeffrey. He didn't have the hair to let down, but he plays a great father in that.
Oh yeah,
he really does. He's trying to understand. He doesn't realize his kids are growing up. He doesn't know what to do because they are growing up. You know, he's doing his best. He was never a bad father, which was good. I really like the fact that they didn't portray him as, you know, a jerk.
No.
I mean, even when it comes to the way he reacted to Patrick Swayze, would have been the way I think any father would react to that guy, thinking that he, you know, had knocked up a girl and was, you know, just being a scumbag. Shit, if I'd have thought that, I'd have probably tried to beat the hell out of Patrick Swayze's character. You know, now you're going to try and date my daughter?
Yeah.
I don't think so, Patrick Swayze. You know, but when you see it, you're like, he's never unlikable.
No. Which
so many movies back in the 80s made parents unlikable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think he worked out really well. He was a really good choice for the father.
Oh, absolutely.
Really good choice.
Absolutely. So final thoughts on Dirty Dancing?
Oh, yeah. Dirty Dancing is a must watch as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's got handsome Patrick Swayze in it. You know, I'm guy enough to understand a good looking guy when you see one. Patrick Swayze is one. And he's got that hair. He's got that 80s hair that just goes, it blows in the wind when there's no breeze.
It's like the wind.
That? Yeah, it's like the wind. Whose hair does that? Only Patrick Swayze's back in the 80s, all right?
He wrote a song about it.
Who does that. Who?
He wrote a song about it.
My hair's like the wind. They had to change the words. It was about, you know.
Yeah.
They changed it to she's like the wind, but initially it was my hair's like the wind.
Yeah.
It has its own breeze. And he always, why did he always walk around with his shirt unbuttoned like down to almost his belly button through this whole movie?
If
Is
you,
it just
if,
my imagination, or did he really do that?
no, if you look like that, you would too. I know I
Yeah,
would.
yeah.
I
This
mean,
is true. Yeah, if I
it's
had
a
abs like
requirement.
Patrick Swayze had back in the '80s, I would do it.
It's a
Yeah,
requirement. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, never mind. That's a stupid question on my
Yeah.
part. And then you had little cute as a button Jennifer Grey dancing around,
Yeah.
trying to learn how to dance, being adorable. Um, and I love the scene again where they're filming and they show him. It's late at night. I think they said they filmed until 3 o'clock in the morning or
Hmm.
something. And she just wanted a cheese platter.
Not a piece of cheese, a cheese
Not
platter.
a piece of cheese. She wants a cheese platter. And he's like, they're doing the sexy dance, and his hands going down her side. And she just keeps laughing. That was actual. That was not.
Yeah.
It wasn't scripted. And it was really. If you look at his face, he's really frustrated.
Which was perfect.
But it's perfect because you would be.
And that's, I'm going to tap on that again. There's so much real in this movie, and it lends to making it so good and so believable because she's really learning to dance. He's really frustrated with her because he really is teaching her how to dance.
Yeah, he really is teaching her.
And it's perfect. That's why it works.
There was so much good about this movie, and especially when you find out a little bit of the background about it and what they went through to make the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which is amazing to me because it's like, knowing what they went through, you almost start rooting for them to make it big. And then to find out how much money this movie made and has been making in the last 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
And that producer in real life never had to give any of those people the cut that she gave them.
No.
She gave everybody a cut, and a big cut. Like, these people made millions of dollars because this one lady who was the producer, and I can't think of her name, watch the special on Netflix. Honestly, it's really good. But she winds up giving everybody bigger chunks of this movie than probably anybody else would have.
Yep.
And it made everybody a millionaire. And they're still making millions of dollars a year on this movie.
Yeah, I just bought it.
Everywhere.
So...
People are still buying it.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I just purchased it. So it was.
Yeah. See, I bought it a while back, and I have it on a disc somewhere too. But I bought it on Amazon the other day or a couple weeks ago. Because sometimes I don't want to look for a disc. I'm lazy. I'll admit it.
I've gotten lazy as well. I'll give my recommendations. Must watch. Absolutely. It is a great classic movie. There's I can't say anything bad about it, really.
It's a prime example of, it's the opposite of a lot of the movies we've watched where we've said, watch this movie, look for the mistakes, and don't make them. This movie is, watch this movie, and if you can find the script, I would print out the script and read it.
Yeah.
Because it's so well written. It is just a really well done movie all the way around. And to find out the background and the trouble that they had making this movie, and then to find out what a success it was when it came out.
Yeah.
It just makes your heart go.
Well, that's one of the things that I took away from the documentary part was that they had all these suits. Hell, one of them said burn the negatives and collect the insurance.
Yeah, that was the guy who did Dirty Money and The Rose.
Yeah.
Why would you call that guy in?
Regardless, when they showed it to an actual audience, they saw the reaction. And I think that's what a lot of movie companies today miss.
Right.
They don't realize that their audience is not the suits. It's the people who's going to watch it, who's going to react. Because these people in there who hold the money belts don't have an original idea in their freaking head.
No, they're trying to figure out what can we remake. They remade this movie. They remade this movie. It's on, I think, Amazon.
Good Lord.
They remade it and released it to like a regular movie place, like Dirty Dancing Savannah.
Oh, Havana Nights. I thought it was more
which
of
was
like
horrible. Which don't see that.
I'm not going to watch it.
It's fucking horrible, people. It's just horrible. But they've remade this particular movie. And I think it's an Amazon original. I could be wrong. But I'm sitting there looking at it like, why would you remake this? I don't understand why you would. It's
We've talked about this almost every episode. It's
yeah.
absolutely ridiculous to continually go on and remake. Since we got John Carpenter films coming up, Halloween is one that's been remade multiple times, and there was an interview with John Carpenter, and they asked, "How do you allow this?" And he said, "I get a check."
Yeah. And you know what? I guess that makes sense. I
Yeah.
guess if I came up with a movie that was a hit and somebody wanted to remake it and give me $1 million to do it,
go ahead.
probably let them. I'd probably be like, yeah, go ahead. Do you want anything? No, I don't want anything to do with it.
Don't put my name on it. Just give me the money.
No? Okay, then you go do whatever you want.
But it happens a lot, and we're seeing it over and over and over, and it's
to the painful degree that it's become in Hollywood. It's just painful, and an original idea gets stomped on until it's nothing. It feels like to me.
To see that this had 40 plus rejections.
Yeah, that's got to. And to be fair, at the time, what was very popular were explosions, Chuck Norris, Rambo movies, things like that. I mean, that's what was money makers at the time. So I could see as a producer or a guy that making that decision, like a girl learning to dance. Really, this is what I'm gonna buy? I don't think so. You got anything with explosions in it?
Yeah, one of the notes were no, too girly, or girly movie.
And looking at it from that point of view of the day. But I think you'd also have to have somebody that had brains that would go, women do go see movies. Teenage girls do go see movies. Maybe we should think about that.
Janine told me they drove about 30, 40 miles every day for like a week to go see this over and over.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
I get it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that. That's I could see how this could be somebody's Star Wars. Definitely.
Absolutely.
It's a good movie, well acted, well written, and to film it in what was it? 14
they spent 14 days in Virginia,
section, and then 30 something in another, so 44 altogether.
Yeah, 40 something days.
Is that what it was? Like 40? Yeah. It's just
multiple locations.
Such a short period of time for such a big movie. Incredible. It's just incredible to me.
Very good.
So yeah, I definitely recommend this movie, folks. If you get a chance, see this movie.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for. Do what?
So that's my final words.
Your final words. My final words are it's freaking awesome. Watch it. Mm-hmm. That's going to do it for today's episode of Old Ass Movie Reviews. Coming up next week, we are doing another hot guy, Kurt Russell, double feature: Escape from New York and Escape from L.A. It's Snake Plissken, baby. Until next week.
I'm sorry I laughed over you.